Hey, it's been a while. I fell into a bit of a slump, but I'm back, and I'm hoping to make more of these. Today is a special day. It is currently Wednesday morning, and last Friday, Dream Theater released their first album since 2009 with Mike Portnoy playing the drums. Now, I made a bit of a stupid statement. I don't even remember if I said it here. If I might have cut it out or I might have just said it to my friends. At the time I was more excited that Opeth was bringing back the Growls than Dream Theater was bringing back Portnoy. And the reason was I thought I never blamed Mangini for the why I didn't like his era of music. But I realized that part of the soul of Dream Theater was Portnoy. I didn't realize just how much influence he had on the songwriting and the development and the his cool rhythms. It never occurred to me just how important he was to the band until this album, Parasomnia, dropped on Friday, and I love it. I haven't watched any reviews. I haven't tainted my opinion with other people saying or what, but I see a lot of videos saying, is this really Dream Theater's return? I'm like, that's all clickbait. Who knows what they actually think, right? But I'm going to be brief and just voice my opinion. This is a fantastic album. I wouldn't put it in my top 5 per se, but it's their best since Systematic Chaos. And in my opinion, because I like Systematic Chaos, save one song. There's one song that kind of but I like it better than Octavarium even though Octavarium has higher heights and like I'll go listen to the title track, I'll listen to The Root of All Evil, Panic Attack. But there's a couple songs on Octavarium I just don't really care for. And I can't say the same for Parasomnia. I like every track on this album. I don't like any track as much as some tracks on Octavarium, but I can't say that there aren't tracks on Octavarium that I like less than any of these tracks. So the singles didn't really impress me. I was a little worried because when you think of singles, you think, oh, this is the best. This is what represents our album, right? You want to represent the album without spoiling everything. So a good single isn't your best track. It's just the most hookiest, right? And I think they did that really well. But looking at interviews, apparently Night Terrors was the first single simply because that's the first song they wrote. And they wanted people to have a similar experience where the first thing that came from the band getting back together is the first thing people hear of the new album. And I think that's a really good way to choose a single. And Broken Man was probably my favorite of the three by a little bit. Midnight Messiah is my least favorite of the three by a little bit. But finally, the album came out, and we get this awesome instrumental overture. Then we get our two singles, which I've heard. Then we get Dead Asleep, which is phenomenal. Heartbreaking story. Just, I love that track a lot. Then we get Midnight Messiah, which we heard, probably my least favorite on the album. Then we get this little interlude that connects Midnight Messiah to Bend the Clock. And Bend the Clock is probably one of my favorite power ballads of theirs. This is so emotional. It plays with tonality. Like you get hints of major, hints of minor. There's this sort of bittersweetness to it. There's this hopeful yet forlorn vibe. And that's something that they just haven't really been good at capturing. So this has to be my favorite power ballad of theirs with this kind of melodic sound, you know? And also it's an amazing moment of levity compared to the darkness that came before it. Even Midnight Messiah, which has a bit of a bittersweet story to the song, it's still heavy and pushes forward. So, I don't know. And then we get to Le Piece de Résistance, the Shadow Man incident. It's gotta be one of their best epics. Not their best, but definitely better than the Mangini era epics. I like it better than Count of Tuscany. I might like it better than I don't know. I think it's almost tied with 6 Degrees. It's that good. 6 Degrees is a fantastic suite. And this is just a 20-minute song. Compared to that, it's nothing. And yet, I think that's where I'd put the Shadow Man incident. And it's also got one of my favorite Jordan solos I've heard in a long time. Since I can't think of a better solo other than when he's trading with John and In the Name of God. It's such a good song. And if you like epics, if you like sitting down and listening to a song for 20 minutes, this is a really good one. I've added it to my epic playlist. And the way the songs connect is what really got me. Because they could have just written a bunch of songs and said, here's our ideas. But they have a theme to it. They did make a concept album. Not a storyline, but like a thematic concept album. And most of the songs blend into one another. You have an overture that introduces the themes. You have the Broken Man chorus, which comes back in like the interlude. It comes back in Dead Asleep. It comes back at the end it ends with that theme. You get hints of the chorus to the Shadow Man incident early on, especially in the overture. And the way the overture makes that statement, I heard that melody and thought, is this going to come back? It's so catchy. It's such a good melody. There's no way that this isn't foreshadowing. And it totally foreshadowed in another theme in like the best way possible. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there. Go listen to this record. If you were hesitant like I was about listening to this record because A View from the Top of the World was even though it felt more Dream Theater than their last couple of records before that, it was still kind of mid. This is a lot better, and it just goes to show how important Portnoy is to the band. So, seriously, listen to this record front to back. Just put it on while you're driving, while you're working. Just listen to it. And if you have listened to it, you know what I'm talking about. I'm sure this made a lot of Dream Theater fans happy. It made me happy to hear, and I'm honestly stoked for more. I might even look into seeing them play this live. I know they talk about wanting to play the album in full live by the end of this year, maybe into next year, maybe their next North American tour. They'll play somewhere less expensive than Radio City Music Hall. That broke my heart. But yeah, so that's my opinion. I think everyone should at least give this a chance. I understand maybe if you don't like it, but part of me kind of doesn't. I think this album works really well. And none of it feels forced. None of it feels phoned in. It's just all around fantastic. So, off with you. Go listen to it right now. Stop watching this video and just listen to this album. And tell me in the comments what you think. If there's any new albums out that you like, that you think I might like, send me a comment being like, hey, what do you think of this album? I don't know who I am. I don't even have 30 subscribers yet. So who am I to judge? But I do appreciate the people that have supported me thus far, and I'm hoping that I can just exist on this platform like so many others. Yeah, well, that's it. I'm still bad at goodbyes, clearly. I meant to sign off 5 minutes ago. Or, yeah, about 4 or 5 minutes ago, I was about to sign off, and then I just keep rambling. Well, all right. See you next time.